Hello and welcome to Give It a Rest, the podcast where we talk about common practices, ideas, and beliefs that need to be put to rest for the greater good. My name is Joy, I'm your host. This is episode 14. Okay, so it has recently come to my attention that there are people, they are among us, y'all. They may be in your home, and they are people that judge others for any and everything, and it makes me really sad, honestly, because it's like, why can't we all just live and let live? Like, I went to this Catholic high school in Houston, and I hated the administration. Honestly, I hated the leadership there. They did a terrible job. But one thing that one of the teachers, she taught peace. I love her so much. Miss Doyle, she had this saying, and she would always be like, live and let live. Just do you and let other people do them. Like, it probably doesn't even affect you. So let's just all be. Anyway, this week we are talking about judgment because it is a disease, it spreads, and it's gross, honestly. So let's start with our definition. Judgment is the process of forming an opinion or evaluation by discerning and comparing. So that is the definition that the internet gave me, and it's just different versions of that. But that's not even what y'all be doing, okay? Like, a lot of times we just make up stuff, we pull it out of our asses, and then we believe it, we say it out loud, and then it's like, oh, well, that's the fact now, that's what it is, and that couldn't be further from the truth. So technically speaking, if you are judging somebody, you should be doing some discerning, some comparing, and a lot of y'all are not doing that. So if you're new here, thank you for listening. And just know that you got to stick around to the end so that we can do our affirmations together, where I say them and then you say them and then we all feel good and then we go about our days being wonderful to people. So the next step in our putting judgment to rest, we are going to look at some quotes. The self-righteous scream judgments against others to hide the noise of skeletons dancing in their own closets. John Mark Green said that. That's beautiful and honestly so true, because the tea is that a lot of times we are deflecting. We want to bring attention to any and everything except for what's going on inside of us. Like, get it together. Sweep around your own front door before you go calling out other people for things that are probably just fine. And then the second quote I have is, judgment closes the door to understanding, while analysis opens the windows of insight. The former dismisses, condemns, and separates, while the latter explores, comprehends, and connects. And Eric the Black Sheep G said that. I was looking for more context about who this person is and all the things because I loved reading that, but I couldn't find any. But I think it's pretty self-explanatory, y'all. I think that we're really here to connect with others and just create connection and bond with others and just find common ground. But when we judge, when we other people, it directly conflicts that. Like, it does not allow for growth or for understanding of others. I feel like we can learn so much from each other, but a lot of times we're just so busy putting people in another category to, make ourselves feel better about one thing or another. And it's unnecessary. So now let's look into some examples. One, we judge ourselves all the time. Whether we know it or not, we do it, okay? And a lot of times we judge ourselves during very difficult times. Like, one example I just thought of is that people really judge themselves for gaining weight or losing weight. I know I did when I was in dental school. I lost like 10, 15 pounds. It was scary. I was like, oh my God, like, this is not the way I want my body to look. This is not the happiest, healthiest me. And that's very true. It was not, because I was literally in survival mode. I was like, if I don't pass these classes, if I don't do well, I'm going to get kicked out of school and I'm not going to be able to be a dentist. So I was literally operating in survival mode and I was doing the very best I could. And that's what happened. Oh, well. Guess what? I'm still here, live to see another day. I made it through all my classes, and now I can get myself together if I want to. Another thing we judge ourselves about are mistakes. I got in a car accident, I think almost a year ago, and I was so mad. I was like, what the hell? And it wasn't my fault, but I could have avoided it. I was paying attention, but like it wasn't my fault. And I just like felt really guilty about that for me. And my dog was in the car, and I always feel guilty like when I put her in danger and all these things, but it's like literally out of my control. Give it a rest. It's fine. Everybody survived. Nothing bad happened other than I had to get a new car. Or I didn't have to get a new car, but I had to pay a lot of money to get my car fixed. And that was that. Like, we need to learn how to let go of that judgment for ourselves. Okay, now the examples about how we judge others. So we judge others for like their family dynamics. I went to this wedding a couple of years ago with a family member, and they were looking around. They were like, why is none of the couple's family, like one of the bride, her family wasn't there. Like very few of her family, her actual blood family was there. It was a lot of friends and, you know, chosen family. And the person I was with, they were like, that's weird. Like, it kind of says a lot about them. And I just told them, I was like, they don't have a relationship with their family for reasons you and I cannot understand. I don't know what's going on there. I have no idea. And I will never have to know that because my family's been great. Your family's been great. And things happen in people's lives. Things happen in family dynamics that, you know, we really, truly have no control over. They have no control over either. But at some point, you just have to say enough. And for whatever reason that was, that bride's family wasn't there. And it's okay. So just that judgment, I feel like you don't really know the whole story. We never know the full story. We live our own individual lives. No matter how close you are to a person, you still live a life that is completely different from them. The experiences, the struggles, the triumphs, everything is so different. We are so individualized. Another thing we do is judge people for doing things that we don't agree with. And I always like to look at it as in, it's not affecting you. Calm down, like leave it alone. So for me, I am probably never gonna go get a tattoo. That doesn't mean I'm gonna walk around judging everybody with the tattoo, talking about, look at them with their nasty tattoos. I didn't have to pay for it. Nobody asked me to pay for that tattoo. Nobody asked to put the tattoo on my body. Like, it's fine. Let them live. It goes again with like another example about people, you know, doing things to their bodies, like smoking or hookah. That stuff is disgusting. You will never catch me with a cigarette in my mouth with hookah in my hand like that. No, I will never. But if that's what people want to do and, you know, they're not blowing smoke in my face, like, knock yourself out. Do you, babe? Another topic over here would be sexual orientation, gender expression. Recently, y'all, I had to give someone a rest because they had so much hate and disdain and just vile judgment towards the trans community. And I was like, this is crazy. You have such strong feelings about something that doesn't affect you. And it's okay. Like, you don't have to agree with it to respect people. You don't have to agree with it to live and let live. Like, I'm an ally, okay? I stand down for my girls, gays, and theys. I got you, babe. But you don't even have to have that level of support towards the community in order to respect them and just live and let live. I don't understand what that is about. I really don't. And if y'all have any insight, my inbox is open. DMs are open. Let me know what that's about because I still don't get it. Probably never will. But, you know, I'm open. I do my very best not to judge people. I'm here for understanding. I'm always here for growth and learning. So there's that. But yeah, that is the extent of my examples. We love to judge without doing proper investigation, without having the proper conversations with the correct parties who are actually involved. Like, we're doing all this talking over somebody, about somebody. How about we talk to the people? When did that end? Bring that back in 2024, okay? But I really think that judgment comes from a place of insecurity. I really do. I think we do this thing, we want to other people. We want to put them in a place that like has nothing to do with us and look down on them to make ourselves feel better about one thing or another. And it's rude. it's ridiculous. It doesn't make sense. Like, the math does not add up. If that's your math, like, that's judgment math, that's girl math, boy math, whatever math it is, it does not compute. It's wrong. So let's give judgment a rest. And how are we going to do that? This is the part of the podcast where I give y'all actionable steps in order to give it a rest. In my brainstorming, in my episode planning, I figured that the best way to give judgment a rest is to look inwardly and ask yourself a few questions. So, number 1, why do I feel so strongly about this topic or situation? Are you triggered? Why are you so triggered? And in asking yourself these questions, I find it's always good to open up your notes app, open up a notebook, write it down, really verbalize what is actually going on. So, number 1, why do I feel so strongly about this topic or situation? Number 2, does this actually impact my life in any significant way? Is it diminishing your quality of life? Is it costing you any money? Is it making your life inconvenient in one form or another? If the answer is no, then check yourself, okay? And the answer probably is no, because again, we live such individual lives. Our lives are not that intertwined like we think they are, and sure they are to an extent, but choices that other people are making are really not affecting us as much as we think they are. Number 3, what would it look like to be empathetic instead of judgmental in this situation? That is the last question, because I feel like a lot of people who do things that we don't agree with, they're doing it for a reason. Like, understand what that reason is. If you don't care, fine. But don't go shitting on this person. Like, it's unnecessary. And just imagine extending understanding and compassion and respect instead of just spewing hate or violence or disrespect towards this person or a group. Like, it's so easy to be kind. Okay, so instead of judgment, just remind yourself that, we are all still stuck here on this spinning rock in the middle of space. None of us asked to be here. We're all just trying our best. So be kind. You never know what anybody's going through. Like, please just be kind to one another. And if you can't be kind, be quiet. Shut up. So there. So now we're to the part where we do our affirmations. And if you made it this far, thank you very much. I'm going to ask y'all that whatever you're listening on, whether you're on YouTube with me, you're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, hit the subscribe button, hit the follow button so that you can know when I release new episodes, which will be more often. And so now let's get into our affirmations. This is the part where I say the affirmation, you say it back, then we all feel really good, and then we go on. So I have 4. I hope y'all recognize the last one. And if you don't, get with the times, okay? Okay, this is the first one. I'm going to say it, give y'all time, you say it back. I send love to people who need it most and clear the blocks that keep us apart. I allow others to be whoever they want to be. I choose to live life for me and my greatest good. Nobody can judge me but me. I was born free. Okay, that is it. Thank y'all so much for listening. Subscribe, follow, all the things. Share with a friend. And also, I love when y'all leave reviews so I can read them at the beginning of the episode. I know it's been a minute, so I don't really have one to read right now. But thank y'all so much. And until next time, rest up.